The Fourth and Goal Podcast.
That's all it is. But there's a lot of airspace to cover for Milroe. Still looking. Firing. Near corner. It's caught! Touchdown, Alabama!
Strebler dials it up. End zone! Touchdown!
They're going to snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles! Touchdown!
There ain't no podcast like the Fourth and Goal Podcast. Like, hit that subscribe button and share.
And welcome to the Fourth and Goal Podcast. Here joined by Justin, JP, and Andrew. Fellas, it's Thursday night. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. Just watched that Bills-Dolphins ass whooping, hanging out and getting ready to talk some shit, and everything's good. We're going to be working this weekend. I got a high school game tomorrow and a college game on Saturday, and catch up on everything else, and we're all good.
Yeah, I got the same dealio too. Sideline reporting tomorrow night, and then Saturday doing my first NCAA game, doing Davenport's women's soccer. So should be interesting.
I'm glad to finally interact with people. I just locked myself in a room for 8 hours at work. And this weekend, I wish I could be actually plugged into sports. I have to go sell my soul to the government for about 2 days. And then I'll be back to regular scheduled programming. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a nice change of pace once a month.
All right, let's get into the big news that happened after dark. It's crazy that this happened after dark. It's the Pac-12. Is the Pac-12 coming back? We got Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, and San Diego State joining the Pac-12. What does this mean for this conference? What other prospective clients could they possibly get? I'm looking at Arizona State. I'm looking maybe at Colorado too. What are your guys' thoughts of the Pac-12 being revived and not being the Pac-2?
Well, it appears that there's a 2-year grace period. I do know that Oregon State and Washington State sued the conference and put them in place in charge of that conference and who the conference brings in. I mean, there's some different logistical stuff that's going to go on here. I know that there's going to be some penalties that are going to have to be paid to the Mountain West for those teams leaving early. I think the Pac-12 is going to help out with those penalties. And I'm kind of looking, you said Arizona State, Colorado. I'm kind of looking at the ACC, man. I mean, as of right now, Florida State and Clemson both have lawsuits with the ACC, and maybe looking to leave. But like I told you guys earlier, it could be much to do about nothing. It could all be exploded in a couple of years, and we're just looking at the Big Ten, SEC, and that's it. Because I mean, I think teams in this new Pac-12 are scheduled to make like $10 million a year. I'm pretty sure the Big Ten schools are making like $70 million a year.
You just nailed it right there. It's the dollars to dimes that is the difference between the Big Ten and the SEC and everyone else. Like I have no problem. I have a problem with it, but I can very visibly see probably by 2030, both the Big Ten and SEC are 25 teams deep. Maybe not that early, but going forward.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
it's going to be that you're in those conferences or you're not. You don't exist. You don't matter. But which is honestly how I view the Pac-12. It's how I have viewed the Pac-12. Because
the last year of the Pac-12 was amazing.
The last year of the Pac-12 was the best year the Pac-12's had in like 20 years.
I know, but still.
Like
they
the last
still
time,
got stomped.
Yeah, exactly. But like also, you are right, JP. They have to pay back. I
think it's like
$111 million for the two to leave. But I don't hate where your head's at. I know Florida State's also pissed at the ACC.
No, but they're not going to the Pac-12.
Miami's upset with basically every team that matters wants to be in the Big Ten or SEC.
Well, it's because of how the revenue share works in the ACC. Clemson doesn't want to split money with, no offense, Boston College, a way smaller brand. So there's a reason why these ACC schools want to leave. When I thought you brought up ACC, I thought you were talking Cal and Stanford coming back to the Pac-12.
That's what it should. That's probably a smart plan.
I think that's where it might go. It might not. We'll see how they work out in the ACC. Both of them look like solid teams. So
I mean, if we're going actually realistic, I think ASU probably Brigham Young, Texas Tech.
I think BYU is a Big 12.
Possibly.
Nah, Texas Tech ain't gonna join. I don't think you're gonna be able to convince those Texas schools to be able to join the Pac-12. I think you're gonna have to go with the West Coast teams. I think Utah State's another team that could join the Pac-12 for sure.
Hold on. When did geography start playing into all this? Nobody cares about geography.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna see Syracuse in the Pac-12.
Who gives a shit about geography?
Send Alaska to the Pac-12.
Exactly.
You know what though? An FCS team that could join that I've seen rumored is Idaho. That would be interesting. Got to win against Wyoming and then also played competitively against Oregon. So
okay, I have a thought. The Dakota States go to the Pac-12.
No, they don't want to join the FBS, man.
North Dakota State and South Dakota State go to the Pac-12 and absolutely run it.
I'm reading that they're saying that realistic targets, they're looking at teams like Tulane, Memphis, and UTSA.
Memphis and Tulane are going to join the Big 12 or ACC before they join the Pac-12. I don't think the Pac-12 is going to be what it once was. It's not going to be back to a Power 4 conference.
No, it's a group of 6, 7.
It's called
now.
We say just say G5. It's always going to be called the G5.
It's the group of whatevers.
What about Air Force?
Air Force. You want to put a military school in a well, actually, it's not
they should have done what they should have done it a long time ago and just made a military school league where it's those 3 and then they play out of conference and just have them be an independent 3-man league.
And that's another question. Like, is this even going to be it's Power 4? You know what I mean? Is this just going to fall into the Group of 5 category, or
probably? I believe so. I guess it's just depends on what type of teams join, and I think with the revenue sharing and how it's going to distribute throughout the league, it's going to be more of a G5 conference rather than a power conference. Because that's why the Pac-12 disbanded, because they couldn't pay anybody. So that's why all these teams left to the ACC, Big 10, Big 12.
Seems like they would be interested in a team like UNLV that has that Vegas market as well. If we're talking about revenue,
thinking.
There's a lot of intriguing teams and schools that they might be interested in. What I will say is it's gonna suck at basketball. So it's gonna be
at Gonzaga. Answer solved.
Well, Gonzaga's in the Big 12. Is in the best basketball conference in the Big 12, though. So
yeah, you're right. Wait, they're not. I thought they were in some stupid small conference.
No, they're supposedly joining the Big 12 this year. I'm pretty sure.
It's probably going to suck at football too, if we're being honest.
It's going to suck at a lot of stuff.
You want it to suck? Send Hawaii there.
Yeah, I mean Hawaii's another team that they're looking at.
Or I think have Hawaii join the Big 10, so then I can go see Michigan State.
Why would we do that
on the islands?
No.
Destination games, bro. Destination games.
Hawaii would go 0-9 and well, maybe like 1-8 if they.
No, they'd be the
Western. Yeah.
Every 4 years,
we can talk about this more when it's more put into place. All right, before we get into our college football predictions, make sure you guys follow us at TikTok, Instagram, and X at 4th and Goal Pod. TikTok's starting to get some views, guys, so make sure you guys are interacting with us on all social medias and make sure that we're hitting the algorithm and, spreading the college football and NFL love to more people.
Speaking of that, let us know what you guys want to see on TikTok and on Instagram Reels. Because
Andrew's been doing a great job on social media, guys. You guys got to really pay attention to what he's doing. I just see stuff pop up on my For You page. I'm like, man, I got to repost this because Andrew's just doing such a good job.
Yeah, like let me know what you guys want to see. I can do anything on TikTok. It's a pretty free range platform. Just let me know. Like if you want more memes and jokes making fun of teams, I love making those. So those will keep rolling. But if you want more, let me know. If you want less and you want more actual serious content, We can figure.
It's going to be a mixed bag for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stick to all serious stuff. So
I mean, if you got to be serious, like we would be a news podcast if we were going to be completely serious. All right, let's head into the college football weekend. On 8:00 Friday night, we got Arizona versus Kansas State. Oh, wrong ticker. You know what? It
come
goes
on.
wrong. It's okay. All right, restart. Arizona versus Kansas State this Friday at 8 p.m. on Fox. Guys, give me your thoughts going into this game.
Yeah, I think obviously a bounce back game for both teams. Arizona came out and lit the world on fire in the first game, mostly McMillan. I mean, he was most of the production, but they just escaped. It was Northern Arizona?
Northern Arizona, yeah.
21-10, I think FCS level school. And then Kansas State. This is one of the two ranked matchups this week. Kansas State coming off of a win against Tulane where they didn't look too hot. It's a very intriguing quarterback matchup here with Noah Fafita and Avery Johnson for Kansas State. I'm very interested to see. Maybe last week was a look-ahead game for both of them, and we'll see a more entertaining, competitive game this week. I know Noah's the guy that I usually go to, and he's pretty high on Kansas State this week. But I think that Arizona does have some firepower, but I think Kansas State's going to be the more physical team.
Yeah, I agree. I just, last week you saw it's like someone flipped a coin on these two. And they were like, oh, top 15 teams week 1. Week 2, we're going to make them look like they're group of 5 teams really quick and that they have nothing. Especially Arizona, they went 0-10 on third down. You're probably not going to see that the rest of the season. That's probably a very high outlier in their stats for going forward. But I'm curious how they bounce back from performances like that. Like, was it a lot of up downs this week? Are they going to have a fire under their ass going into this game? But I think, like you said, it's going to be physical. It's going to be probably one of the more fun games to watch this weekend.
One quick thing before you get into it, Noah, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Arizona was out some starting offensive linemen last week too.
I believe so. There's been a lot of O linemen out for a lot of teams recently. You look at Oregon, former Pac-12 team. So colleges don't do the best necessarily with roster reports and injury reports before the game, but I believe Arizona was down a couple linemen in this game.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter. You should be able to block Northern Arizona. I'm sorry. I don't find an excuse for it, man. What I will say is I'm concerned with the Arizona depth across the board on this team, offensively and defensively. You got the stars on the top like Fafita and McMillan, but who's wide receiver number 2, who's wide receiver number 3? There was a lot of transfer portal exodus on this team due to Jed Fish going to Washington. And then Kansas State, I mean, they're going to play Tulane, bro. Tulane ain't no sleeper. They are a good group of 5 team and have potential to make the college football playoff. And you play that game on the road as well. This game's been competitive for the last couple of seasons. And the year that I was competitive against Tulane, guess what? Kansas State in 2022 won the Big 12 championship. So I'm honestly a big believer of this Kansas State team. Now, the fun fact about this game, it doesn't count as a conference game. So it really doesn't have any punishment towards both teams, except for maybe some college football playoff implications. I like Avery Johnson as a quarterback. I'm a big fan of this Kansas State roster in general, and I think they're going to come out with the win because I was high on this Arizona team coming into the season, but after what I've seen 2 weeks, you gave up 39 points against New Mexico. Like, I just don't think they have it. I don't think they can get it done on defense versus Kansas State, and I think Kansas State's offense is gonna have a little fun on Friday night.
At its roots, Arizona is a Pac-12 team, and the Pac-12 is not known for very much defense. So it might still part of be that adjustment of.
And Arizona's only been good for one season too. Let's keep that in mind.
Let's stick to the hardwood, guys. Let's not get out of our lanes.
Jed Fish moved on, and climbing teams, they're usually pretty physical, so it might get tough in there for Arizona on the defensive side.
I do believe, though, that Kevin Sumlin's a good coach. Came over from San Jose State, built a solid foundation at a school that it's very hard to win at. And you know what? He's got something. And most year one coaches aren't going to be able to figure it out right away. And you're probably going to take some tough losses, even if you don't want to.
I agree.
All right, let's move on to Camp Randall this Saturday. Alabama versus Wisconsin. Not a big fan of Wisconsin from what I've seen the first 2 weeks. I think this is going to be a complete shit show, and Alabama is going to be putting in their backups by the third quarter. Say what you want. What happened against South Florida? South Florida is a good group of 5 team. Byron Brown's a good quarterback. Alex Golish is a great head coach, and is going to be a Power 4 head coach before you know it. Meanwhile, is Luke Fickell going to be coaching at Wisconsin if he can't get it together, man? That's a serious question that people are asking.
Yeah, and it's not really helping his case when he's got Alabama and then USC in back-to-back weeks. But I think it's all Roll Tide this game. Wisconsin breaking in another transfer portal guy in Tyler Van Dyke. He played okay last week. They're going to need him to play the game of his life if they want to have a chance.
Which he's very capable of. Let's keep that in mind.
He is capable of,
but he's also capable of throwing 4 interceptions and being benched. So
yes,
exactly.
Yes.
And really, we know that Malusi, their running back, is their guy. He's kind of their bell cow, and it's going to take Van Dyke a little bit to get rolling. I think I don't know, man. Milroe's been good this year. He's already accounted for 9 touchdowns or something, I think, like that. And then Jam Miller, Noah kind of clowned me for saying his government name the other night. Was kind of
I've never heard him called Jamarion, so I was very shocked when you did.
He was kind of a revelation last week, and then
good running back.
They have Justice Haynes, and I think those are going to be the 2 guys that are going to run it right down Wisconsin's throat. I think it's going to be Roll Tide big.
I think if and I didn't mean to cut you off, Andrew. I'll let you speak in a second. I think if Alabama can just block the Wisconsin D line, which I think they're going to be capable of. There's not a lot of returning pieces I like for Wisconsin's defense. I think they'll be fine. Wisconsin don't have a receiving game, bro. It's being completely honest. And Missouri, I mean, there is some exodus that happened on that Alabama defense, but they still got play. It's Bama, man. They'll still have players in the front 7.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys said it all. I just think it's Bama. They're going to come up north for, I counted this because I wanted to bring this stat up. They're for the 58th time, they're going to play in the Big Ten footprint. And I mean, what was the Big Ten footprint? Now I guess it's the whole country, but you know,
we're going to be international soon.
58th time coming up north, only their second time in Camp Randall, which I think that's kind of crazy. Last time they traveled up here was 1928. So 94 years ago, they traveled
96.
Up. Wow. 90. Yeah. 98.
Said 1928.
I did say 28, 96. You're right. Math is hard. I'm a broadcaster. When that game ended 15-0. So that just tells you. But yeah, they're looking to be undefeated in Camp Randall. And Wisconsin is trying to play air raid with paper planes, and it's not working very well.
I like that analogy. That's very good.
Thanks. That came up off the top of my head just now. But
great podcasting.
Yeah.
Professional. Thank you, Specs. But it's just Milroe's going to come in, and I mean Baker flag slam in the middle of Camp Randall. It's not going to matter. It's nothing Wisconsin can do is going to stop the Tide. They're going to roll.
Yeah, I don't think they also have the secondary pieces to stop this Alabama receiving room.
No, they don't. They don't have the traditional Wisconsin defense. Their big corn-fed white guys are not as big anymore. They can't run the ball quite as efficiently. It's
going to take like year 4 or year 5 to like fully get an air raid there.
Right. Yeah. It's Wisconsin, the whole time I've been growing up, is just this power, beat you to death football team. And now all of a sudden, we're going to be throwing outside the numbers every play and more
Yeah.
concerned about playing in the secondary, which is funny because like most Big Ten teams, other than like what USC and maybe Oregon can't run block to save their lives. So I guess
No.
Oregon. So, but like most of these teams are still like ground and pound football teams in the Big Ten. I mean, that's what's been the most successful recently. You look at Georgia, man, they're a physical football team. I don't know why you're trying to go air raid when physical football is what wins you football games and championships.
The revitalization of the inside zone and the halfback draw has been very successful in my mind.
I also think some playmakers on the defense, Deontay Lawson, Malachi Moore, and Keon Sabb will be very important for this Alabama team to come out with the win.
Man, I know a team that could use Keon Sabb right now.
Who?
Probably the team that he came from.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
The team he came from, you know?
I mean,
I don't know if that was any more of a giveaway, but yeah, probably the team he came from.
I don't know. There's a lot of teams that, I would take Keon Sabb on Michigan State.
Hey, Luke Fickle's fixing to get his ass body bagged 2 weeks in a row.
All right, let's move on to where college game day is going to be this Saturday. LSU, South Carolina.
Ooh.
This game could be interesting, but I also think it could be a complete blowout.
You know, and they're saying that this is Shane Beamer's biggest win because I think there was a little bit of expectation there in Kentucky. I think Vandergrift that he's supposed to be that guy, and
you know what it is. Kentucky's quit. Mark Stoops was rumored to be the Texas A&M head coach, and then a day later he's not. It ends up being Mike Elko, and a lot of these players, man, they didn't play hard in that game. They made a lot of crucial mistakes. It looks like a lot of the players didn't agree with the play calls. I watched this game on Saturday, but other than maybe watching Arkansas football, Kentucky football is the worst football to watch this week.
Yeah,
or last week.
Well, yeah, let me finish my thought. They rolled into Lexington and body bagged that ass. South Carolina's, I think, 0 for 5 in their last 5 games against ranked teams. This would be Beamer's biggest win. Nussmeier's now leading the country in touchdown passes. I think he had 6 last week. So
they kind of struggled versus Nichols, though.
Yeah, but that offense it's only a matter of time, man, before it.
I think Garrett Nussmeier is going to be the best quarterback in this class.
Yeah, I think they're fixing to hum on all cylinders, and I don't want to eat the whole plate and leave Andrew any crumbs here.
I mean, you guys covered basically everything.
Sorry, dude.
No, you're good. That's the struggle of the 3-man podcast.
Right.
Yeah, it's just.
Maybe we just need to say absolutely everything opposite of what we say, just to no matter how hard it is to.
It's going to be low scoring. Defenses are going to dominate, and the offenses will combine for 150 yards.
Like that, Justin.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, no, the LSU receiving room, I think it's a step down from what it's been these past couple of years, but I still think having Kyron Lacey, and we're going to have guys step up, hopefully throughout the season. CJ Daniels, I look at to be one of those guys. I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. I think this could either get into like the 80s or this game could actually be in the 40s because it really comes down to the LSU defense. How good are they going to play? Because so far throughout 2 games, I mean, you let an FCS school score 21 and you go back and forth to USC, but that was a physical football match. I don't know. I don't know what to read of the South Carolina team, man. I think it's going to be different from week to week.
We'll know a lot more this week. We
might, or they're going to, you know what? They're going to get blown out this week. And then they're going to end up, being like one of the best teams. And they play Akron next week. Well, they should be one of the best teams next week then. But yeah, I think I got LSU in this game, guys. I'm going to be honest. I don't see it for South Carolina. They don't got the playmakers on the outside like they did last year with Juice Wells and Xavier Legette. They got a solid running back in Raheem Sanders. I like Lenore Sellers, man, but
what about my boy Nicholas Harbor, bro?
Dude, he's a track athlete, not a football player. But
he's also like 6'6", 245. I mean,
yeah. Well, if you can run more than a go route, that'd be great.
Oh, dude, he'd be like Calvin Johnson.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you got to keep in mind he's only 19 years old. He's got a lot of time to develop.
How about I got a good idea, Andrew. How about you start this next game off?
Yes, okay. Boston College versus Missouri at 12:45 on the SEC network. What are your thoughts going into this game?
Well, I mean, for Boston College, there's a lot of for me, I didn't watch a lot of BC last year. Going to be completely honest with you, and there's a lot of I know beyond the bandana game.
You and the rest of the country, bro.
Yeah, but they do run a pretty good. I mean, their QB likes to run. It's going to be. I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head. So sorry. I'm not a professional apparently. But yeah, he's going to run Missouri. Probably. We haven't seen really many flaws from their defense so far this season. They'll contain, for the most part. A running QB is kind of hard to stop for most defenses, especially college players. But I don't see much from Boston College. I think they're probably a little overranked right now just because they've played nobody and they're gonna roll up and
nobody. Well, it's kind of true.
Yeah. Trust me, we go to MSU travels there next week. I'm already scared and doing research.
Hey, look out. Look out. We might have game day in the house.
Why is the game on the ECC network, bro?
Hey, I've already downloaded Streams, whatever it is, Stream East or something.
We don't need to get flagged, okay?
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. I have not downloaded any pirate.
I'll hit on this one real quick. Yeah, so the quarterback you were looking for was Thomas Castellanos for Boston College. After 2 weeks, he's actually one of the top 10 rated quarterbacks per PFF. And this is contrasting styles here in quarterbacks because, as Noah knows, we like to shit on Brady Cook around here.
Hell yeah, we do.
So we have on one side you have Boston College, who has an electric quarterback, and then on the other side you have a quarterback like Brady Cook, who probably holds his team back a little bit. Missouri's calling card so far, they've let up a goose egg so far, 0 points this season. They haven't played anybody. That could be a problem for BC. I think Missouri's athletes and being able to contain Castellanos could be a problem. And it's going to have to be a big game for Luther Burden and Theo Weiss on the offensive side for Missouri.
Yeah, I mean, just to bring it up a little bit more, I think I like the running back room for Boston College. Trayshawn Ward, a transfer from Kansas State, was their number one running back last year. He's at Boston College now to pair up with Thomas Castellanos. He's also a good receiving back as well, currently second in receiving on the team. I think matchup-wise, I think if Boston College can play outside the numbers and hit those explosive plays against Missouri, it's going to be tough because Brady Cook, yeah, he can make the throw here or there, but he's not going to get it done every single time for you. And I don't think he's necessarily the worst quarterback in the world. I just don't think like we talked about on Tuesday. Brady Cook is he's just an average quarterback, man. Like, he does what you want him to do, but he ain't gonna do a whole lot for you if he needs to. And he's gonna be a nice USFL quarterback that gets benched midway through the season. That's really all it is to it.
Yeah.
All right. The great question, though. Let's go back to the Davis Warren versus Brady.
I was about to say that. You totally stole my thunder.
Well,
I was about to propose a very important question.
Well, if we're going on, one thing I can say is at least Brady Cook threw the ball to Luther Burden last year in a big year. I don't know who the hell Davis Warren's throwing the ball to this year outside of Colston Loveland. So I just fucked up, dude. You guys are killing me.
We're
on
just
this,
all
man.
on the same page today.
I think I'm gonna have to go Brady Cook on this one, dude.
Drop my phone.
Shit,
no,
man.
but I think
so upset.
Okay, but sorry.
I thought I was about to pull such a good callback out of my ass.
Oh, bro.
No, it just goes so Davis Warren.
But to finish this game off before we go to Tulane and Oklahoma, Theo Weiss, Luther Burden, and Marquise Johnson's a very good receiving core for Missouri. And I don't know how good Boston College DB room is. They haven't really been tested, especially, playing TJU week 1. So, it'll be interesting to see. I think this is going to be – we're going to learn a lot from this game. I think that's really what it comes down to, both teams stylistically and what roster points for both teams.
Let me start. Let me kick this one off because I think I'm going to go a little out of order here with how we're doing this, but since this is my college football upset of the week, I'm going to start this one off. Is that all right with you guys?
That's completely fine.
Right ahead.
Yeah. So Tulane is playing Oklahoma this week. That's the next game we're going to talk about. And I don't know how many people have watched Oklahoma football this year, but their offense is abysmal. It's awful. It's in the hundreds in rush offense and pass offense. Jackson Arnold hasn't been the guy that Noah told us he was going to be yet. And
Noah, is he better than Dylan?
Yes,
Gabriel?
he's better. You know what?
Is he better than Davis
Gabriel?
I think on a talent perspective, yes. You got to keep in mind Oklahoma, and I'll let you get back, Justin. Oklahoma's lost their whole entire offensive line. Deion Burks looks hurt. A lot of the receiving pieces are hurt. Like, I don't know how much is Jackson Arnold's fault, but or having it be Oklahoma's just in a bad roster situation. On
the flip side, and they did all this last week against a bad Houston team that's pretty much starting from the ground up.
Probably power 4 team.
Yeah, and their defense has been very solid, which I expect from Brent Venables, longtime Clemson DC. You expect him to have a physical, good defense, but their offense, man, as you've seen when Michigan went from Fresno to Texas, it's a lot to turn around in 1 week. So I'm actually going to go with Tulane here. I like Tulane. Darian Mensah, redshirt freshman, kind of a revelation, 70% passer. Mekhi Hughes, running back, 5+ yards per carry. If they can move the ball, and when I picked Tulane, Tulane had Kansas State on the ropes last week, and I do believe that Kansas State's a better team than Oklahoma. So that's my upset of the week this week. And I don't think that when it's all said and done, I think Oklahoma's probably a 5, maybe 6 loss football team. But it's an upset right now because they're a top 15 team.
If Oklahoma's healthy, they have a very high floor. But Oklahoma, and even last year, you look at it, a lot of the guys, Farouk in the receiving room, Andrell Anthony in the receiving room, there's just a lot. There's an injury bug in that Oklahoma offense, especially, which, maybe you need a new training staff. Maybe you need new strength and conditioning coach. I don't know. I don't know how you really solve that problem. Maybe you just go to different recruiting areas. But yeah, Justin, you hit the points on Tulane. I will say they do have USC transfer Mario Williams as their number 1 guy. You would transferred in this offseason. I think Tulane's a pretty well-coached team. They got Jen Summerall from Troy, one of the best coached teams probably to watch. If you like watching good coached football teams, watch those Troy teams from the last couple of years, man. I mean, they were competitive in the Sun Belt every single year, and Tulane looks to be competitive in the American so far. I mean, you're competing with Kansas State, a pretty solid football program.
Oklahoma, in my opinion, I thank you, Justin, for finally joining me on the dark side. They never deserved to be in the top 25, in my opinion. They've lost too much. Like, I get you, their floor on their talent should be an 8-9 win football team, but I don't see it happening, especially now. I agree, Tulane's probably going to come in and upset this Oklahoma team. They're going to struggle to stop.
Are we all standing pat on Tulane right now?
You know what? I will say Tulane will cover the +13. I don't know if they'll win. I think it's going to be a competitive ball game. So we'll see, though. I mean, who knows what the injury report looks like? And I mean, if Oklahoma can play some stout defense, man, Tulane's not going to defend Oklahoma the best necessarily.
I think it's only right now moving forward into this next one that Andrew brings us into the Civil War, the showdown in Corvallis, the game that he lobbied for us to talk
he's
about.
Probably the biggest Oregon fan that I know. Actually, cool thing, guys, I am wearing an Oregon shirt. So.
And
will tell you,
the biggest Dylan Gabriel advocate on this panel. Go ahead, kick us off.
I will strongly tell you that last year I hit the fan portal and was a Oregon State Beaver for
It's
probably
okay. I hit the fan
12 weeks
portal
last
too.
year.
So.
So I will be pulling for Oregon State this weekend. I am a huge fan of the undefeated Pac-2. You know,
Can't believe that's a thing.
The 2-pack.
So.
the 2-pack. You know,
Yeah, now it's the 6-pack.
yeah.
I know you're a huge fan of the 6-pack.
I wish I had one. You know,
Right.
but
Well, that could be go. That could go multiple ways.
either way. But either way, I mean, Oregon State, they lost a ton of players coming out of last year. They lost their star running back going to Miami. They lost their star young quarterback who's now at Michigan State.
And their star quarterback last year. Let's not talk about how DJU was actually good last year.
I'm telling you, Brian Lindgren and Jonathan Smith are good offensive minds. They made a shiny turd look like a shiny piece of gold.
Dude, they might be quarterback whisperers when this is all said and done because that man is
Not
trash.
how Aiden Childs has looked the first 2 weeks. I'm sorry. Not yet. I mean, Childs, he's
younger than you are.
Yeah, that is true.
But he's making 6 figures, so he should be playing better than that.
Yeah.
I will agree.
I'm not making 6 figures, not yet at least.
Yeah, that's a key word. But I think Oregon is just going to actually go in and out tough and outplay their playmakers and just athletes overall are superior to Oregon State. It's the Civil War. It's going to be misty. I believe it's in Corvallis this year.
Oh yeah, so it's going to be like the worst weather ever.
It's going to be the worst weather, but in my opinion, it's one of when it's misty and shitty there, it's one of the coolest settings.
And the thing about that is, though, with the bad weather, it almost plays into Oregon State because Jam Griffin and Anthony Hankerson are both averaging over 100 yards a game for Oregon State this year. And we're going to see what Oregon's toughness is about because they've been struggling against some really mediocre opponents.
Oh, and I mean,
we know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Continue. Sorry.
And we know that Dylan Gabriel's the dink and dunk king of the country. So, I mean, he's not going to throw the ball downfield anyway. So maybe that won't throw their offense off, but they're going to have to stop Oregon State's ground game. I think people don't really know a lot about Oregon State, but they have 2 backs that are averaging 100 yards per game right now.
I mean, you think about it, both these Pac-2 teams could make the college football playoff. Not both of them, but one of the two can make it. I mean, they're both undefeated right now. So
they're going to play in the first round, and then it will be the Pac-1.
There you go.
I think that Oregon really needs to show that they can run the ball because that's something we really haven't seen these first 2 weeks. And I know they have some offensive line concerns, and yes, it's going to affect how it goes. I think Dylan Gabriel is just doing a good job of what he does, man. I mean, he's letting his playmakers make plays, baby. Trayshawn Holden, Evan Stewart, Tez Johnson. I mean, those are 3 really key receivers. 2 of them are from the SEC. But yeah, I don't know a lot about this Oregon State team. I'll be honest. I haven't watched much. I know you brought up the running backs. I thought that Chance Nolan was going to be their starter this year going into the season, but it's not. It's Giovanni McCoy. I mean, there's just a lot of roster turnover from last year, but if Oregon State can keep this a physical and low-scoring game, I mean, they might have a shot to pull off an upset. I'm not going to call it.
I agree. Honestly, I really like the Beavers. They're still one of my pet teams coming after last year. Don't know them quite as well as my favorite team, but that's okay. I mean,
we'll learn a lot in this week, man.
Oh,
I believe
Trent Bray don't play though. Oregon State's going to be a team that you don't ever want to play in Corvallis under Trent Bray. Especially,
I don't think you ever want to play Oregon State to begin with, dude. They just play so hard. Like, you look at their running back room last year, Damian Martinez and Deshaun Fidwick. I mean, 2 just bruisers of running backs. Like, I wish I had that on my dynasty right now.
Yeah, and now they have a defensive-minded head coach who's going to make that defense light a fire under their ass week in, week out. Not that he didn't. He was the DC last year.
So, Andrew, was it just coincidental that you hopped on the fan portal over to Oregon State?
It really was.
And then we get their head coach.
Dude,
Yeah.
I actually screamed when I saw
And their quarterback.
I got so excited.
You guys should be jumping for joy that you got Aiden Childs instead of DJU.
Dude, I thought Damian Martinez was coming over. I
didn't. He's too big.
I thought everyone was coming. I was like,
Damian's going to the NFL after this year, though.
Well, you got the tight end too, right?
Yeah, Jack Burling. He's pretty good.
Yeah, except apparently he doesn't have any good rapport with Aiden Childs, and Childs does not like to get him the ball, so that's great.
Well, we got other receivers on the team, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, you kind of got a guy named Nick Marsh.
And we have
Throw the guy who caught 8 touchdowns last year, the damn ball, please.
By the way, Nick Marsh rated the second highest freshman in the country right now.
That's pretty awesome stuff to see.
All right, let's get back.
All right, last
MSU talk, but let's keep her rolling.
MSU plays no one notable. Prairie View ain't. Just want to throw it out there. The last game we'll get into, Colorado versus Colorado State, guys. I don't have much, dude. I don't like this Colorado team. I'm being completely honest. Colorado State, I will say Fowler Koldenicki, he's pretty good. And Torrey Horton, he's going to be a pro receiver. Other than that, or not Fowler Koldenicki. Oh my God, Fowler Nicolosi.
Quarterback.
Yeah, quarterback. He's all right. Torrey Horton's a great wide receiver, and we're going to probably see a good matchup between him and Travis Hunter. Keep in mind, Travis Hunter got hurt in this game last year, so I don't know how much they're going to really throw him out there. But I mean, you guys brought this up in the group chat earlier. Colorado after this game, I mean, you play Baylor. That might be a win for you. But other than that, UCF, Kansas State, Arizona, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State, dude. Oh my gosh, I see like maybe two wins, maybe with Cincinnati and Texas Tech. That's about it.
It's not a coincidence that they have the L's on their jersey instead of the C. Because if you guys remember last year, they escaped Colorado State. Probably should have lost the game.
Dude, that was one of the most entertaining games, but also some of the worst football I've ever seen.
And it's gonna. And you look at Shedeur, like they went out and they overhauled the offensive line in the transfer portal, and like the rumors are, like Deion's never took an official visit, and it shows because.
And it's shit.
Yeah, and it's just not working for them. And like this is going to be the game that if they lose, I'm sorry, guys, the dam's going to break.
Oh,
I'm here for it.
Go a step further. This is the game the dam breaks. This is my upset of the week. Colorado State takes out Colorado.
Attaboy, Andrew. Attaboy.
Colorado's only favored by 7. So
exactly. They got punched in the mouth last year, survived. This year, they're going to take a roundhouse kick to the face because Shedeur, I don't know if you guys saw last year. I don't care if you got hurt. You don't leave a team that's getting their ass kicked that hard, 2 minutes left in the game. Their offensive line is going to olay the DNs the entire game.
Yeah.
I think the offensive line's still going to let them get hit whether they're trying or not.
But it's going to be worse. It's going to be a full out running of the Bulls.
Is this one in Boulder or no?
Let's play.
No, this is at Colorado State.
Yeah, it's not. Last year was in Boulder, and we saw what happened. This year, Colorado State's got that home field. Colorado they just took a ass whooping last week. And Nebraska
dominated
at halftime, and it didn't matter. Colorado State is going to play physical. They're returning their running back, their quarterback and wide receiver duo. That's going to just dominate. They played last year. They got a ton of offers to go other places, but they wanted to run it back with their OC and head coach. Colorado State to the moon.
Okay.
I will say I can't wait till this shitty version of Keeping Up with the Kardashians is finally done.
Oh, just wait. It'll be in the SEC next year.
Yeah, probably. Whatever SEC team's going to be struggling. Or maybe, well, no, they won't fire.
Florida.
It might be Vanderbilt.
No, absolutely not.
I just like bringing up Vanderbilt.
Dude, Vanderbilt's not going to fire their head coach.
No, they're going to they're going to win a natty, and their QB's going to
Okay, I don't know. I don't know about winning a natty.
We know they're not going to fire their head coach. We just like saying Vanderbilt.
I say one good thing about a team.
It's crazy that we can talk about Vanderbilt, though, in all honesty, and anything other than baseball this year. I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah,
Dude, I am the ultimate receipts guy. I hold all receipts.
Are you like one of those guys that keeps all? Are you the guy that keeps all the coupons on the receipt on the back and uses them everywhere?
Yeah.
All right. So Justin's upset pick of the week's obviously Tulane over Oklahoma, and you just heard it here. Andrew's picking Colorado State over Colorado, but what's my pick? I'm gonna pick Toledo over Mississippi State. Arizona State just played a good game against Texas State, going to 3-0 on the season now. I'm not a huge Mississippi State guy ever since, RIP Mike Leach, but they just haven't really been able to get it done the past couple of seasons. You lose Will Rogers, you get a okay replacement in Blake Shapen. It's not like he's a bad quarterback either, but he did transfer from Baylor, and that kind of says something when you're going from Baylor to Miss State. It's kind of the same thing, two below average teams in their conference. I don't think they have the playmakers outside. I think Toledo plays a good brand of football with Jason Candle as their head coach, and I think they're going to be able to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't Mike Leach's Mississippi State Bulldogs, you know what I mean? And I don't know. Shapen, like you said, he's a pretty good quarterback. You kind of wanted me to throw this into the parlay, and I backed out of it because it kind of scares the hell out of me a little bit.
Gleason's a solid quarterback, and Vander Ross is a very good receiver on this team. They did lose Daquan Finn and Penny Boone and Quinyon Mitchell. Yes, those are key guys, but I still think they're going to be fine, man.
It's your flag to plant, man.
You know what? If they do win, they do win. That's all that matters. It wouldn't be the first time a MAC school has beaten a Power 4 school. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, what do you think?
I don't know. Your faith in Jason Candle honestly kind of scares me for your sanity, but
they've been good. What are you talking about? They've
been good, but he basically plays Iowa State football in Toledo.
That's fine.
It's good. And I don't know. I mean, I've seen firsthand what Toledo can do to teams. I saw them dismantle my Broncos in Kalamazoo, but
that's not saying much.
It's not. Western sucked the last several weeks. And Toledo didn't look much better, but they still dismantled them.
Yeah.
But I have a hard. This game's in Mississippi State, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I have a hard time.
Starkville's just such a great place to be compared to Toledo. They're gonna be so hyped down there. It's gonna be a great.
Cowbells.
Actually, I played a 7-on-7 in high school at the Toledo Bowl. It's actually pretty cool.
The glass bowl.
I need an alarm for when you say shit like that.
Yeah, alarm.
A big shot in the house. You played 7-on-7 ball.
Yeah, he needs like a
Mississippi State. Okay, you guys are acting like Mississippi State's like 30-point favorites. They're only favored by 10.
And they're
double digits.
I feel like any day, mid-level to bottom level SEC team is rolling over a MAC school.
They are.
And like you said, they lost all those guys. They lost Finn, Boone. You know what I mean? Mitchell's gone. I don't like, but hey, this is your platform.
I don't
pick your team.
Jeff Levy's a first-year head coach, man, and he's got to figure it out, bro.
I don't want to shit on your take, but I'm afraid of your take. That's all I'm.
Hey, you know what? Be scared. Because people that are with me in the comment section, you know what? We're gonna come back here on Sunday probably, and we're just gonna see. We're gonna see how it looks like.
I just have such little faith in Jason Candle that the fact that you have so much faith in him scares me.
How much? When's the last time Mississippi State's been to an SEC championship?
That's a great question. Toledo, I think, what they won the MAC 2 years ago,
and they were in the MAC championship last year. Then they were in the MAC championship last year.
Dude, how funny would it have been? Andrew has such little faith in Jason Candle, and then he would have been your coach at MSU.
Yeah, he was rumored to be.
That was the last case.
I would have been fine with Jason Candle because that means we probably would have gotten Caleb.
Were you one of those Urban Meyer guys like Noah?
I wasn't an
Urban Meyer guy for like 2 weeks, and I was an Urban
guy just because I thought it was funny to watch Michigan fans squirm. But then also, I thought it was really funny on Twitter how people were tracking flights from Tallahassee to East Lansing.
It was actually Sarasota.
And it's funny because, like, as a Michigan fan, like, I remember when Brady Hoke left, like, That's how it was with Jim Harbaugh. Everybody's like, "You're not getting Jim Harbaugh. There's no way."
Hey, but we got Jonathan Smith was Urban Meyer would be awesome and hilarious. Jonathan Smith was I love this this Oregon State team. Please. I didn't think he was ever leaving.
I really wanted PJ
ever
Fleck.
leaving.
Hashtag row the boat. Anyways,
No.
I would have been fine with that. Hey, we got his DC and Joe Rossi. So.
I'm still mad at PJ Fleck for leaving Western.
Well, you and the 10 other Broncos fans that watch that show can go cry in a corner with the Western Michigan Broncos
alumni base, okay?
Let's move on here, boys, and let's talk about some big boy football.
More like some shitty football that happened this Thursday night between the Bills and Dolphins.
Let's go there first. Andrew, you watch the game?
I did. I just want to say bleep to my I don't want to swear, but goodbye to my fantasy football hopes with Tua going out again. Very ironic. Damar Hamlin tackled him, but also Damar Hamlin out of the game. So
I think very ironic situation.
I think Tua might have been concussed early on in the game where he was throwing some of those balls.
I think he's been concussed his whole entire career.
Tua's been in perpetual concussion mode. They showed the highlights, the lowlights from last year during the game of the dozen times Tua's head collided with the ground.
It really sucks, too, because I loved Tua coming out of college, bro. He was such a great player at Alabama. He's able to throw the deep ball really well, and he comes in the NFL, he's scared, and I think it's just getting hit in the head over and over and over again. I mean, it's going to make you not want to play your brand of football. And then now, he's got another concussion, dude. Like, when do you call it quits? Being completely honest, do you want to be brain dead in a hospital like Lamar Odom, or do you want to, be able to live a normal life out of this? Because you're going to make good money, bro. You're going to still probably be able to do some sponsors in the Miami area, do them in Hawaii. I mean, you're a quarterback from Hawaii, which doesn't happen all that often. Like, it might be time to wrap it up. Pause.
Yeah. I mean, you're the only one here that does that. So,
a child yet. I don't want a child yet, please.
Yeah.
Justin, you know all about having a child.
Yeah, but back to the game.
Practice
I think Josh Allen in his career against Miami is like 12 for 13 or something like that, dude. Like, it's nuts, dude. Like, Miami once again looks like a soft ass team. You know,
I told you Josh Allen's the second best. I didn't mean to cut you off, but Josh Allen's the second best quarterback in the league, man.
Yeah, and James Cook had an awesome game today. But let's move on to our game with the Lions in Tampa here on Sunday. This is a big game, a rematch from the playoffs last year. Baker Mayfield's rolling. Mike Evans had a huge week. I mean, Godwin, there's always that threat. More of a traditional drop-back passing game. Maybe the Lions can get home this week. What are your guys' thoughts on this one?
So I have a really strong thought on this game. I don't know the exact. Do you know the spread off the top of your head for this? Isn't it like 7 points?
I think it's Detroit. I think Detroit was at 6.5, 6 last time.
I think it's a total take Detroit points all day.
Yep.
This Bucs secondary is depleted with injuries there, and Jameson Williams went off last week. Didn't see a lot of Sam Laporta. Didn't see a lot of Amon-Ra. Goff said in his post-game interview and on 97.1 The Ticket this week how they've been working on timing. They're going to get them more in the game. With that saturation of targets, it's not going to be one guy scores a ton. It might be one guy scores a ton every week, or it's going to be everyone has 50 yards. But I think this is the game. This is the week that the Lions really step up and be that offense that we thought we were going to see week one. They're probably going to get Gibbs more in the slot, out of the backfield, more reception. Going to get him a reception, and DJ Reader comes back this week, and it's going to be. I mean,
is Melifonwu coming back?
I think he's a couple weeks.
I think he's out still.
God damn it! I'm not watching this week.
It's okay. We have Kirby Joseph, my favorite Lion.
Kirby Joseph is like the most like hit or miss Lion ever.
He's so underrated. Do not shit on.
No, but he has his moments where I'm like, what are you doing, Kirby?
He had the stats of a top safety in the league last year.
I don't know. He's a ball hawk safety.
He actually had stats than Kyle Hamilton, but no one wants to talk about it.
Kyle Hamilton's disgusting. Kyle, you gotta watch film. I'm sorry, I don't buy these advanced analytics that these freaking nerds and on their laptops 20 hours a day are just like, what can we come up with the most bullshit to talk about these teams so we can make them look impressive? I don't care, bro. Watch football. Not that stats are important to an extent. I will say that. I think it gets to a point where it's a little ridiculous.
Oh, I agree. Kyle Hamilton is the better safety, but Kirby had better stats, and he's also an injury dog.
I mean, stats kind of tell a story, right? It's like
I don't think so much.
They don't tell the whole story.
I don't think
you like a prologue.
Yeah, I think the only sport that stats matter are baseball. That's literally what it is.
And no, are the Lions winning this weekend?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, Andrew said, depleted secondary. I think there's going to be more involvement in the pass game this week, but I also don't want to see them shy away from the run, man. Let's have a mixed bag, and you know what? Just keep working, keep grinding. We're going to go freaking how many games are in the NFL? 17. We're going to go 17-0. And you know what? We're going to win a Super Bowl, and that's all that matters.
All right. Well, I think we're all consensus Lions here. Let's move along here. Let's breeze through these last three games. We're kind of up against it with time. We all have busy schedules and lives here.
Sometimes,
yeah.
Yeah, get a job, Noah.
When you're not,
I literally do. I've been sick this week, bro.
All right, so the 4:00 slot, we have the Bengals are going to Arrowhead and
Burrowhead.
Yeah,
not anymore.
Cam Taylor-Britt kind of opened up his mouth a little bit earlier. I don't know if
they always do this every single week before
Cam Taylor-Britt, and this time the target was Xavier Worthy. He when asked about Xavier Worthy, he said, "Yeah, he can run straight. Can't really do anything else."
Hey, I remember him running sideways on a jet touch pass or end around. You know what? He can run laterally too. Don't say he can just run straight.
He can run straight, just side to side front, and he runs.
Dude, no. In college, he was an excellent route runner. He's not just this freaking.
I know he's a stud.
He's you know what?
Williams. That's all I'm gonna say.
We got Eli Apple 2.0 here. Cam Taylor-Britt gonna be talking crap. No, I actually think Cam Taylor-Britt's a solid corner. But I'll get into my thoughts about this game. Bengals looked like crap in week 1, and the Chiefs pass rush is going to be able to get home if the Bengals play like how they did against the Patriots last week. I think their secondary is going to be fine. They might force Joe Burrow and throw some turnovers. You know, the chemistry with the receivers did not look good with the Bengals last week. So, and then defensively, I mean, they played all right against New England, but it's New England with Jacoby Brissett, and they're wide receiver 1 being Jalen Polk. I think the Chiefs take this game, man. I don't have a good read on the Bengals, and I think if it's looking how it's going, Bengals roster is going to look a lot different next offseason.
Quickly, Andrew.
Okay, I'm just going to say I think I totally agree. It's probably a Chiefs all the way in this game. Bengals have so much to prove. They're still living back in 2021. They still think they're in the wild card chase or going to the Super Bowl. Their offensive line has not been fixed in the last 3 years. Burrow is great. Jamar Chase is great. T. Higgins is great. I mean, he's not really going to play, but either way, there's kind of trouble there. If you guys have been paying attention, people saying his injury's fake, but
wouldn't doubt it.
Right. But I just think there's too much drama. There's too much hot air going around Cincinnati, and that team is going to have. We're gonna figure out what they actually are by the end of this season, whether it's they're gonna rebuild, trade off their pieces, or if they're going to actually be able to figure this out and protect Joe Burrow first and foremost.
Might as well sell high while you can. That's all I gotta say.
Sell high or get high,
but
probably both.
All right, now we got 2 potential stinkers here in the primetime games. We'll start with one on Sunday. Bears traveling to Houston. I'll kick this one off real quick. The Bears are going to have to score an offensive touchdown. Their defense isn't going to be the 85 Bears against the Texans. I got news for them. You guys probably don't even know about the 85 Bears, but I digress.
Sorry, Unc.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay. What am I, Shannon Sharp now?
Ooh,
No, I don't watch
Shannon
anything
Sharp
to be
right
like Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp
That's a
right now.
bad name.
But maybe just maybe Caleb Williams throws his first touchdown
JP
pass
is no
this
longer
week.
ever allowed to go live on Instagram.
Yeah.
All right,
Control.
I got the
I don't
Texans.
need to hear my dad do that. That'd be very
I got
disgusting.
Texans big in this one. Go ahead.
I also have Texans big. Nico Collins and Stroud. Sorry, my brain went blank.
Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell.
Tank Dell Collins and are going to go absolutely crazy. The Bears have a good defense, but they're probably going to get gashed for 350 in the air at least. I wouldn't put money on it, but that's my intuition. And it's in Texas, so it's the Bears suck, but they don't. But they suck.
Yeah, I mean, I want to believe in the Bears this season, and they have the receiving core. And you know what? It's going to be up to our offensive line and Caleb Williams. Your ground game's not great. Your defense is all right, but I mean, you played Will Levis last week. Like, I'm sorry, he's a bottom 10 quarterback in the league. Whether you think if you want to be on high off that mayonnaise or not, you freaking weirdos. No, but Texans by a mile. Texans defense is good, man. They're going to be able to get to the quarterback with Will Anderson and the rest of that.
And Daniel Hunter too.
Yeah, Daniil Hunter. That was a big
one of the sack leaders last year in the NFL. All right, here goes another stinker. The Falcons at the Eagles Monday Night Football game. There's a lot of reports and rumors going on around there that Kirk Cousins, they ran a lot of shotgun and pistol because apparently his injury may not be recovered. And going back and watching him, he looks a little immobile, a little concerned about Cousins. And I'm wondering at what point we're going to see Michael Penix this year.
Dang it, I really wanted to bring up big Penix energy.
And wondering if Atlanta kind of knew something when they drafted Penix about Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean? Like, because they're kind of all in at this point. I think the Eagles are going to roll at home.
I agree. I like the Falcons a lot this year, but Kirk did not make the progress. I mean, he's 36, 37. JP, you can tell us how fast does an Achilles recover at your age? But not fast.
We'll find out. No, just
hey, I don't have Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. But it's still. I mean, we even saw it with Rodgers, and Rodgers is older than Kirk is. It takes a while for those tendons to get back to where they're supposed to be. And I don't care how many weapons you have and how much hype you had around your team. If you can't deliver them the ball in time, a lot of a QB's power comes from their legs. I've tweaked my Achilles before. I've almost pulled it. You can't do shit with your leg.
Yeah.
You can move like your hip.
I, for one, have had a ruptured Achilles. Not fun. Not fun.
You just can't do shit with it. Like, you can't move your foot. You can't do how are you supposed to throw a ball? They have to protect Kirk somehow. I think Big Penix energy is coming sooner than we were thinking. And I'm excited for it. I really liked Michael Penix even when he was at Indiana, and he scared the shit out of me every time he traveled to East Lansing.
Who do you got? Andrew? Eagles or Falcons?
Who do you got, Andrew? Eagles or Falcons?
I said it. Eagles.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't like what I saw from the Falcons week 1. Eagles, they played good, but that game was kind of stupid, if we're being completely honest. I don't buy that. That game shouldn't even count on the schedule. But yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles here. I think that just secondary wise, Falcons aren't going to be able to hang with the Eagles offense. The ground game is going to be good from the Eagles with Hurts and Saquon, man. I mean, they got a good O-line. Defensively, they're stout, man. They're really stout. Half of their defense is Georgia guys. And I think that the secondary will improve. Obviously, Darius Slay is your cornerback 1, but having Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell in that room, I mean, it's going to improve as the season goes on, man. So I really like the Eagles in this matchup. I want to say the Falcons, bro. I really like this team and how it's constructed, but dude, Moneybag Kirk's got the money, but he doesn't have the bag in the game, and it sucks because being hurt really affects that. But you know what? If we get Michael Penix, There's a reason why you draft the most experienced quarterback, because a team that actually could be competing or is a quarterback away could have used them. And I think the Falcons, like you said, Justin, I thought you brought up a very valid point. Michael Penix was probably drafted to that team because they had some intel on Kirk Cousins that the rest of the league didn't know.
Probably would have wanted that intel before you signed the $180 million deal, but
Well, I mean, you know what? Their camp's not going to bring up that in contract negotiations. Are you kidding me?
The only
Right.
thing they're gonna say is he was an MVP candidate before he got hurt.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's all you got to say, bro. Someone's going to, whether it was the Falcons or someone else, someone was going to pay either. I think it's crazy. And I think there's a reason why that Minnesota did. I think that's a big thing because Minnesota has a roster offensively to compete, right?
It says a lot
with
with
the
Donald over Kirk.
Yeah. Well,
Darnold's a lot
I
cheaper.
think they wanted to keep Kirk Cousins. I just don't think they wanted to pay him that ridiculous
Yeah, I
money.
was gonna say Darnold's a lot cheaper.
That's what I mean.
And Darnold's looking like an MVP candidate after week 1. Maybe he's just got to go to Minnesota to be an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, boys, that was a great show. I encourage everybody to like and subscribe on the bottom of the screen here. All of our socials. We're kind of getting some traction on TikTok. We need your guys' help for Instagram, Twitter, all the other stuff, YouTube. Every penny, every donation, every share can feed a starving child in Heartland.
Yeah, because you don't take care
I
of
know.
it. Yeah.
the Heartland Fire Department's really in clutch for JP over there.
Like Justin said, like, subscribe, share, follow us on our socials at 4th and Goal Pod. And yeah, guys, see you Sunday.
Peace.
See ya.